Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes.
Went down to Waimea Bay. What a fantastic sunny day. Boys and girls hanging round. Surfers going up and down. That's when I caught my wave. Knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore. And yes, dreams come true.
Hey everybody, welcome to the QuiverCast. I am Mike, your host. Let's get into the show. All right, everyone, the QuiverCast is back, and we are stoked. We have Shane Bevan. So you go by Bevo, right, Bevo?
Bevo's fine. That's cool. I'm used at work in the house with my kids when they're being cheeky. They call me Bevo.
So how'd you get the name?
I reckon it might have been on one of the young Billabong trips where they called me Kid. Jack McCoy and Rabbit called me Kid Bev, and then it went from Kid Bev to just Bevo, and then I ended up getting number plates on my car that said Bev 073, and so I think there was a famous cricketer in Australia that had the same name. But I don't know, there's a lot of Bevos. I think there's a girl surfer called Bevo as well. So
I saw that, yes. It's a cool name. So it comes from your last name, though, of course.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right
but
on.
You know what? My wife calls me Beverly when she's got the shits with me. So
Beverly?
Beverly, yeah. I won't tell you what I call her, though.
Okay, yeah. We'll leave that out. Okay, so Bevo, how did you start surfing?
I started surfing when I was 11 years old at Kingscliff and Duranbar and Snapper Rocks.
How was that, and how was the crowd there?
Well, funny, there wasn't even a crowd at Snapper because the sandbank would only turn up every 5 or 10 years because there wasn't sand pumping. So we surfed Duranbar, yeah.
You had to go up a little bit, or is it down?
Duranbar's around the corner.
Around the corner, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like literally over the hill. Duranbar was probably a better break anyway because it had barrels, it had...
Yeah, it was like bowly, huh? Like big bowls?
Oh, yeah, like one of the best A-frame on the whole east coast of Australia. When it was good, it gets crowded. It did get crowded. It was world class.
At what point does that change? Like Snapper, they added the sand and all that, or like they have a thing that spits out sand, right? Is that what it does?
Yeah, so the sand bypass, I can give you some information. I worked as a lifeguard during the whole time. Year 2000, they put a big pier similar to Huntington Pier or a nice big concrete pier, and then it had a big dredge off the end, like a pipe that sucked up sand, and then they put all these pipes that went underneath the seabed under the Tweed River mouth, and then they come across D-Bar, and then they put like 3 little pipes, one outlet at Lovers, which is the northern end of Duranbar, then they put one at Froggies, and they put one at Snapper. So in year 2000, that's when everybody sort of congregated and wanted to move to Snapper because the wave would become the perfect superbank, basically. And that's when all the locals started to get real frisky because it was so crowded. The place changed. Property prices went through the roof. You know, it's a pretty intense place to live at the moment with crowds and all the young kids that were coming through at that time in year 2000 was Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson and Dean Morrison. So, you know, that was an attraction just to come to watch them guys surf these waves as well. But, yeah, the place definitely changed when they did the sand bypass.
Do you think that wave turning on helped make the Fanning and the Joel?
I think it helped them enhance their surfing for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely did.
I mean, of course, they're all natural talent.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But if you have a perfect wave in front of you every day or a lot of not every day, I'm sure, but enough, it's going to help your surfing, right?
Oh, absolutely. They were gifted the perfect training yard.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, they were gifted the perfect wave, and then also you can go just down the road and surf other beach breaks that are just pretty average, but you could always come back to the perfect training ground. Yeah, it was incredible.
What was your thoughts about it? How it changed?
Oh, there was good. The good points were you get barreled and you get to have 50-second down point break waves.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the downside was there was a lot of fin chops, people getting injured, a lot of aggression, a lot of people dropping in, a lot of kooks that were dangerous. Saw people get some pretty bad deep fin cuts on their legs and cuts in their heads, and the place become pretty scary to surf, especially if you want to take your kid out for a surf. You'd have to be very careful because it wasn't really safe to take a kid surfing out there because it was too many kooks and too many people in a tight little area. So you knew someone was going to get hurt.
Was there localism going on? Was it anybody regulating?
We were the locals, and
of course
we were overrun by blow-ins and muscle men and nice people also that moved to the town, but the locals were always at work, or we never really dominated. I mean, the Burleigh boys up the road there, them locals were a lot heavier than the locals down our way, but they were more localized up there at Burleigh, and I kind of respected that. But every beach has its own little stories, I guess.
Do you think that's happening at other breaks too in today's world? More surfers that aren't really maybe qualified to be out to where they paddle out at?
Look, I just think that there was always great point breaks, I guess, there where the sand bypass has just made it so much more perfect. So it's attracted more people from around the world. So it's made it congested. But yeah, you're right. Up at Noosa, where I kind of live, the crowds are the same up here, and there's no actual sand bypass. So to answer the question, I would say it's just the population that more people are surfing these days. So I guess, and they're more attracted to the perfect conditions, I guess, as well. So it's just the natural thing we're used to.
Okay. So were you a first generation surfer, or dad surf, or anybody else in your family surf?
Second generation. So my dad, he loved surfing, was pretty good at it, and just did it for love and the passion, really. So I was dragged to the beach a fair bit and wanted to do it myself. No one pushed me into it. I enjoyed rugby league, so I had to choose between the two sports. When I got sponsored, actually, at the age of 12 or 13, I think that my choice was pretty well. I'm a surfer now. I gave up football because I was getting injured, and then 1 or 2 years later, I had to leave school, and I had a job, and I had sponsorship. Mum said, "Yep, if you've got a job and you've got sponsorship, I'll let you leave school." And that's when, things started to happen.
Within 2 years, you had a sponsor. Who was your sponsor?
Yeah, it was Brothers Nielsen.
Okay.
They were like a surfboard manufacturer, Gold Coast, and then Billabong, Oakley, Gorilla Grip.
Full blast. You got your board was stickered up.
Yeah, and back then it was, I think I was sponsored off Victory wetsuits,
Wow, I remember Victory, yeah.
Yeah, I think in 1989, that's when Billabong started making wetsuits. So it was
Axe the Victory.
Yeah, you couldn't have your rip curl and your Billabong or your Victory and Billabong. It just had to be 100%. That were the days.
Yes. Okay, actually, yeah, back in the day, you had a surfboard sponsor. You had a wetsuit sponsor. You had I guess a Gorilla Grip or an Astro Deck or something on your board. You had all these multiple sponsors. And then when Billabong, Quicksilver, all these other companies got pretty big, they kind of claimed that their person to be just for them, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, so we were just told, given the ultimatum, you're 100%.
Yes.
I remember everybody left Rip Curl and went to Billabong, and then about a couple of years later, do you remember where Rip Curl decided, well, we better make clothes, otherwise we're going to miss the boat?
I don't remember necessarily with the day it happened, but yeah, you've seen it gradually over time.
for sure. Yeah, surfing definitely changed a lot back then when it happened.
So what year was this that you were 13 and you were sponsored?
Yeah, that would have been roughly it would have been 86. It would have been 13.
Okay. Did you approach them or did they come to you?
See, I was in Snapper Rock Surf Riders Club, which was kind of the entrepreneur board riding club, and I was lucky to have peers of, Rabbit Bartholomew.
Yeah.
And everyone looked at our club as a pretty much a talent.
Premier?
Yeah. Talent. Like, there's a lot of talent in the club. So if you could beat them all and continue to get Queensland Australian results and you're seen, then they would definitely think, oh, we need to sponsor this guy. Like right now in these days, nobody's getting sponsored because there's no money in surfing. But I think back then, everyone was getting sponsored. There was so much money in surfing. And it's even the prize money in pro juniors these days. The prize money back in the 90s in pro juniors it's the same prize money as what it is today, which is like, what's that? Nearly 30 years later.
Right.
So, it's sad for surfing, but it is what it is,
So I just interviewed this guy, Michael Dumfrey, that just won the Coldwater Classic like last week up in Santa Cruz.
Awesome.
And he said that 20 years ago it was like double the purse or something. Like the money was way more 20 years ago for the same contest.
Yeah, so. It's true. I do remember, like, actually, because I coach a couple of young kids around the area that I live, just for fun and just to give them the tips and just to get the fire in their belly. And they're decent, the kids. Like Luke Brumby's one. He's coming over for the WSL.
Excellent
junior thing. And I like to pass on any information I've learned, but it's kind of sad for them because the prize money we were getting in like 93, I remember winning $3,000 say for example, and now I'm pretty sure for first prize it's only 2,000 Australian dollars.
Wow.
And that's, what's that, 30 years later.
That's insane.
So you kind of ask the question, where is surfing going? Like, we supporting these kids with sponsorships and with prize money. There is a so-called life, like, I guess it's a job. Like, you want it to be not a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle, but
it is a lifestyle. But maybe what you're trying to say is there has to be a future for professionalism, maybe?
To make a job out of it, you need to have an income.
Of course,
and
yes.
Surfing did have that in the junior series for sure. But now you couldn't really make a living off the junior series now.
Yes, I agree 100%. Why do you think that is?
Good question to all the companies. They're all sold out.
That's part of the problem, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. We've seen some decisions that there's probably a lot more money outside of surfing. I'm glad, like, I've got a 15-year-old, 13-year-old, and a 9-year-old. They love surfing, but none of them like to be competitive. So I'm in the back of my mind, I'm going, there's no career pathway anyway. You're better off doing a trade, enjoy your surfing. But, hey, if you are good enough, you will make it anyway, and then a sponsor will come. So balance. I
don't know because I wasn't a pro surfer, but I feel like the guys of the 90s, like your generation, the guys of the 2000, everyone made a decent living. But, of course, the top guys, Kelly, Joel Parkins, all those guys, you're making a fortune compared to everyone else.
Oh, absolutely. And those guys were exceptional.
Of course.
Joel probably should have won probably 2 world titles. And he's just such a lackadaisy, easygoing, too nice a guy. And I think
super nice guy. I've met him several times. He's super nice.
And having been in his corner and being friends with his whole family, I probably would have thought he should have won at least 2, maybe 3 world titles. But sometimes his surfing was was that good that he made it look too easy.
Yes, his style.
His style. Yep. He kind of made it look too easy because he just did it and just needed to throw an extra bit of effort in. And so, and then Mick, he just worked hard. He just was so focused. And
once again, a super nice guy, but it seems like he's a different guy with a jersey on.
That's right. And you got to bring the mongrel out. And
Yeah.
And he had more of that in him, where Joel, he had all the turns and had everything in his bag of goodies, but he just was too much of a nice guy.
All right. So let's go way back. So you were 11, 13, you're sponsored. And what are you thinking in your life? And you tell your mom, I'm done with school.
Yep.
So you have one thought on your mind. What is that?
I'm going to be a pro surfer and nothing's going to get in my way, pretty much. So then I start doing the WQS, and I won a WQS in Japan. Wow. And then I started riding Darren Hanley boards. Confidence grew, come really close one year, and then just didn't make it. And then that was when Taj and Michael Lowe and all these they were the new kids coming through, and I was sort of told, if you don't qualify in the next year, you're going to lose your Billabong sponsorship.
What?
And then I missed out by 2 spots the next year.
Oh no! What year is this? 94.
This is like 95 or 96.
Okay. Wow.
And then this is
can I stop you right there? So Billabong comes to you and says, we're going to cut you unless you make the CT.
They did. Yeah.
Did that add pressure to you? And instead of supporting you, they were
answer to that question was it added pressure for sure.
Yeah. Especially
being that not immature, but just being at that age,
young.
If they had said it to me when I was a bit older and understood more, I would have just been the opposite. But yeah, at that age, that added so much pressure. And but that's not their fault at all.
No.
But
my question too, though, added that to the question is, instead of lifting you up, they're kind of,
pull you down.
They're kind of pulling you down. Like, did that put a negative thought in your head or anything like that? Is my question, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. These companies shouldn't be just sponsoring people and spitting them out. They should be looking after the key word is look after their well-being, which is their mental. And that's what's happened. Probably what they need to understand is that don't just pick someone up and then use them and abuse them. Actually care about their welfare as well. So I'm not too sure if that happens these days, but back in them days, no one knew about mental health or anything. So, but
okay, yeah,
yeah. So I think now that what I do know is that they should have just had been more polite and caring and not been so harsh, I guess.
How did you get the news? Like,
it was
called into an office, or how'd that go down?
It was kind of told right at the beginning of the year in February that this is the 3rd year, and if you haven't qualified, so
we're moving on.
Yeah, I'd be on getting cut basically. So
wow.
So in saying that, I was going to get free clothes, but if I was going to be a pro surfer, I was never ever going to get money and get paid. So I ended up, I think I went to Rip Curl then, and I was fortunate to get some like financial help there, and just I didn't want to do that, but then that year I ended up winning the there's a Quicksilver Australian Open.
Okay.
At Burleigh Heads, right where Billabong was born and bred.
So
and
you're stoked.
I won the WQS event at the start of the year right there, and after they'd just given me that news, so gave it straight back to them.
Good, yeah. So what happens after that?
So I won. That was a 4-star, and then later on I won the Mark Richards at the Surfest at Newcastle, and then the same year whether I won, can't remember this far back, in 96 or 97, I won the Durban, the Gunston 500.
Oh yeah, in South Africa.
So my points were high. I think I was coming 1st or 2nd. Actually, bless Andy Irons, me and him were 1st and 2nd the year that I first qualified, and the year he first qualified as well.
Wow, cool.
Right up until the Hawaii, and I ended up from 1st, 2nd to 7th when I qualified that year. So that was awesome.
That was still awesome.
It took 4 years to qualify, but that was my journey with qualification and stuff. So, some are just different to others, and some are more mature and ready for it.
How many QS did you win altogether in your career?
Roughly 7 or 10. I can't remember.
Wow.
I won like 2 or 3 in Japan.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I come second a lot.
I mean, still, that's excellent. Okay. Do you have a favorite of one of those?
I won I was talking about this today, actually. The skins event. I won 12,500. There's a thing called skins. I think Occy may have won it at Bells Beach one year. And
I do remember hearing about that one. Yeah.
Remember he won a Jeep. Yeah. So the year after, it wasn't at Bells. It was at a place called Sandon Point down in Wollongong.
Okay.
And it was big prize money, and I won 12,500. So that was the most I'd earned surfing in one day.
That's excellent.
12,500. Yeah. So
the prize purse was what made you like cheer, or winning close to home or winning elsewhere? Did it make a difference?
I think winning at home is priceless because you got your friends, you've got your family, you've got obviously your Snapper Rocks board, right? Yeah, you've got your home friends, and you just feel the support and love, but also it sets you up for when you're about to do the WQS. You've already got points. You're at the beginning of the year. You leave home to go get more points, and then the year rolls on from a couple of good results. So that's probably the best way for me. I enjoyed to win at home, or only because it's just a good way to start the year as well. So and it pumps you up for the whole year.
Okay, so when you make the CT, what's going on in your head?
I just was feeling so well. The hard work's paid off. The belief is there. I'm going to train. I got a personal trainer, and then got right into my health, flexibility, like eating. Going to the gym, make strength training, did everything I possibly could, made sure I had the right equipment, surfboards, etc. And then the very first year, continued with some really good results on the WCT.
On the CT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I ended up ninth.
Wow.
I think I got about 5 or 10 ninths.
Wow.
Just couldn't crack the quarterfinals, but
So once you're on the CT, what are you thinking about your fellow competitors?
There was always a couple of people who I idolized, which, it's like obviously Occy, and I was more friends with Occy anyway. So if I was against him, I was probably more comfortable. But there was obviously Slater and Shane Beshan, and everybody surfed really well back then. It was all mainly power surfing too.
Yeah.
Idolizing Kelly, I suppose, was probably one of the hardest things, surfing at Kira at home. I thought, you know what, if there's one place I've got to do it, it's right here at home. Let's do it. And then I remember thinking, well, this is it. Let's do it. And he takes off way up the point, and the scores come through. That's a 10. That's a 10. I went, well, that's not going to happen.
And this is a 2-man heat, right?
3.
3-man heat, okay.
3-man heat, yeah. Well, you didn't get knocked out.
Yeah, so it was just like
yeah. But then, then I did have a couple of heats where I was doing turns as well, and I was getting 10s. That might have been the downfall. Try to beat someone like Kelly at Kira, and then other times, I still got 10s in events. I got a 10 at Kira once just by doing turns. I got 10s in beach breaks. So
well, we'll talk about some of those 10s in a minute, but let's talk about the Kelly thing. You have Kelly, and you said Andy too. You were right there with him. Did Andy or Kelly, especially Kelly, were you guys all gunning after him, knowing that he was the guy? Or was he the guy? I should ask you. Was he the guy?
Yeah, he was the guy. He was the guy. He never would make a mistake, so you would always be hoping that you were sitting in the right spot. He was sitting in the wrong spot. It was like a game of chess. You're going to make the wrong move. But I think if you looked at his stats and percentage rates, he never really made many mistakes, did he? Which was pretty frustrating. I think the only time that I even beat him was in Durban, actually. So, and they were in four-man heats, so it's kind of easy to beat people in 4-man heats because everyone has to hassle for waves.
Right. Was there priority back then in 4-man?
No we had no priority. My whole career didn't really have priority at all.
Yeah, okay. So it was just scrapping to get whoever got the best waves, really.
Yeah, pretty much. So Kelly was a master at all of it. And he just sat in the right spot right from the start. But I learned a lot off him as well. So, you know.
Were you guys friendly with Kelly, or were you guys?
Oh, yeah.
You were cool with him?
Good friends. Really good friends. Got along good with Kelly. He was always nice and helpful, respectful. Yeah, no, he'd put his hand up to come and help you, that's for sure. He was a nice guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. I just feel like if I'm competing against some guy and everyone knows he's the best, I would feel like, let's gang up on this guy and let's get him. You know what I'm saying? That's my thought. But
we did a fair bit of stuff with them in the early 90s, just like when that momentum crew was happening with Taylor Steele, because I was friend with Taylor Steele and Benji right back in the early days. Yeah. We did a lot of trips when we were in Honolulu and stuff like that. They were pretty respectful and helpful, and they're just all so focused, and they just had really good stuff going on. Their boards were actually a little bit better than our boards. Equipment back in them days, I always wanted an Almeric board, and then next minute Darren Hanley started popping out really nice boards, and then next minute the Aussies were back on track. And
did you ever jump on one of those guys' boards and give them a go?
I did. I love. Rob left a board with a guy by the name of Chris Davidson.
Yeah.
Back when, rest in peace, old Devo.
Yes.
I used to stay with Devo a bit when I was at Narrabeen. And then Devo said, have a go at this board, Bevo, have a go. And I jumped on it and I went, oh my, there's something about this board. I don't know what it is. And we got Cloughie. Yeah, we had Greg Clough from Aloha. He copied it. And the copy came out really, really good. And I showed it to, I think we even showed it to Darren Hanley as well, showing our age here. But yeah, that was like a long time ago. It was mid 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Darren Hanley started making some best boards, and Andy, everyone wanted a Darren Hanley board in the late 90s because Darren Hanley was like one of the best.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Those boards in the 90s, though, if you look at them today, do you scratch your head? Or what are your thoughts on the boards then?
Oh, they're bananas. They're narrow. They're thin. But they work. They still work really good.
Of course.
Yeah.
You almost have to be a better surfer, I think, almost, in some ways.
A better surfer, fitter, probably.
Thinner, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, a lot fitter.
What was your average width of your boards back then? Do you remember?
It was 6'3" by 18.5 and 2 3/8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And squash
tails. Do you have any of those boards today? Hitting in the garage or something?
I've got 4. I've got like 4 boards. Yeah, I've kept one that I won the Gunston on, one I won the World Junior on.
Okay.
I've got 3 boards that mean a lot to me, and I've kept them. And you know what will happen when I pass on? My kids will take them to the tip and go, I don't know what them boards are all about.
No, I doubt that.
Yeah.
They're going to get passed generation to generation. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah.
Okay, so your pro career the first year is going well, and you're feeling confident.
Confident.
What's going on?
Yeah, and when you are surfing well, getting good scores, and you're training, and you're eating healthy food, you can feel nearly unstoppable, but also good frame of mind, healthy sponsors, just lifestyle, achieving all the goals, and the confidence used to just come with the results, and you just continued to be consistent, and it just kept climbing the ladder, and then just stuck to what worked. I never really wanted to change too much. I always kept getting the same boards, just working hard, pretty much. There was times where I'd be surfing D-bar, and there was people surfing D-bar, and I'd be doing push-ups and sit-ups, running in, running out. We used to call them ins and outs. I'd probably catch 1 wave to everyone else's 10 waves because I was doing push-ups, sit-ups, and stretching and stuff like that. But I put that down to, if I was going away for a few events, that was my training, prepare myself, ready to be strong and fit, like for going to wherever I was going to. So, yeah, as always, swimming in the pool, riding bikes,
So you're super into fitness.
I definitely was. People thought I was a bit silly. When the waves are pumping, here I am running in, doing push-ups, sit-ups. But anyway, it's all paid off. So
yeah, 100%. Now you're on tour for all these years. Are you doing it like on your off days before the contest starts, or when you're traveling, or what are you doing when you're on the road?
I was 24/7 professional surfer. Really, when I was on the road, I was either competing in a event or going to the next event or waiting for another event to start, or I'd come home and I'd be just training and getting equipment prepared for, Hawaii at the end of the year or for the European leg or whatever it would be. So,
right.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy doing that? Like preparing?
I enjoyed prepping because you had to be organised for the three legs: the Australian leg, the European leg, the Brazilian leg, which I always hated for some reason. It's a long flight from Australia over there, and then you get 20 minutes. Yeah, and back then there was no priority, so
yeah,
it wasn't really fair because them guys used to how to hustle and bustle. And
the Brazilians you're talking about?
Yeah, the Brazilians. I mean, they were such great surfers, but at the same time, they were great hustlers. And and I'll say it truthfully. Yeah, I always like to win on my surfing and not by hustling. So it just annoyed me and pissed me right off.
Okay. Anything else about that? Because that sounds pretty fascinating.
Yeah, no, I had a few really good friends that I end up having run-ins with, but
okay,
we're still friends. We're really good friends now, but
shit happens sometimes, right?
It does, and that's exactly what I said to them. I said, let's just surf.
Yeah.
Not get one of yous either side of me and block me in, because that's like gangster stuff, See you later. That's not me. Yeah, so the priority thing's a big thing that I think that surfing needed. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it mostly Brazilians doing that? Would you guys ever do it against them?
I would never personally do it. No, and I've never done it before.
You never participated in that?
Yeah, if I had priority, I'd sit on someone, but
yeah,
that's just what everybody does. But
right, of course,
to gang up with another fellow person, that's pretty annoying, and it's not really fair. And but I guess they're more hungry for money than what we are.
I feel like personally, from an outside perspective, a complete outside perspective, it's dog eat dog, I guess, right? If it comes down to it, you disagree, I think, but
no. With certain countries, yes, dog eat dog. Oh, no, in Australia, it doesn't really matter what country you're from. It is dog eat dog, especially when you're in the water with a jersey on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it should just get left in the water as well, I believe. Yeah, so...
did it ever come back up on the sand?
No, not with me.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
no. I only ever had one or two hassles and said my bit, but yeah, got
it off your chest and you're good.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many years on the CT do you stay?
So I stayed there 98, 99, and then I was first reserve in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a call up to a bunch of them, and I'm pretty sure I got 2 days notice to go to Tahiti. And I was like, 2 days. I'm not, by the time I get there, because the only flights that would go to Tahiti, I just looked at it and went, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
And at that stage, I'd been competing for nearly 10 years as well, and I was a little bit burnt out. And I ended up getting married that year. So, it was just time for a break.
In the beginning, was it fun?
Oh, it was so much fun. I think every 5 to 7 years, they do say you need to have a bit of a breather or a bit of a reflect on where you're at and what you're doing, and even take time off and go and do a job, work and reflect on yourself, because traveling around the world, filling up your passport, you'd lose track of time, you lose track of what you're doing in life. Mm-hmm. And I think it is important to actually slow down, make sure that you're on track. That's why I can't understand people even so. Yeah, Kelly has been doing it for 40 years.
Wow, I know, it's amazing, right?
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
I got burnt out after 10.
Yeah, and you're not the only one. I've talked to so many former pros, and they all have their different time.
Yeah.
Did you know it was time to kind of wrap it up?
I did it for another 5 years after that, and I tried to re-qualify, obviously, because I got knocked. And I kept in the top 50, but you needed to be top 16. So then a person that was really close to me was Paul Nielsen from very successful surf shop in Australia here, and it was he basically said to me, he goes, you can continue doing this, but at the end of the day, you're spending the same, like, just have a think about, weigh up your options. You're spending your prize money. You haven't got really an income.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have. So I sat down and I went, this is not making sense. I'm just like spending the same amount of money to do it. And I don't really want to travel. I just want to get myself set up. So I ended up doing some building, and then I ended up my good friend builds houses. So I did that for a year or two, and then I lucked into a job that took me back to the beach and paid really well, which was lifeguarding.
Yeah.
And then I did a lot of water safety. So here I am next minute, I'm doing water safety at the Quicksilver Pro that I used to be in.
Yeah.
And then now I'm lifeguarding, and I've been lifeguarding ever since 2005 up until today. So yeah, I've been lifeguarding professionally as a full-time career, and in Queensland it's quite a big job, really. Yeah.
But you get to keep the beach lifestyle.
That's right. I get to keep the beach lifestyle. I get to help people do first aids, rescue people here and there and everywhere.
Okay.
But still caring for people and looking after people. So they go home safely and take care of people. I like it. It's good fun.
So if you were to group up all your competitive years of surfing, which is what, roughly like 20 years from amateur through the pros?
Oh, no. Yeah, so I started doing Australian titles in 86.
Okay.
And then I stopped doing the WQS in 2008.
Wow. Okay.
My best years were definitely the pro junior years.
You love that?
Oh, I love it. And then I look back on that and I go, seriously, like, never look back and go, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. I would never say that because I'm pretty complete and happy. The junior years were definitely the best.
Is that because it was so fresh and new, or because you're hanging out with your buddies more, or like?
Yeah, just fresh and new, but just young and just
everything's better. Young, right?
Invisible, you know. And I think, I don't know, not saying burnout from winning, but just I did do really well as the juniors, and I just don't think I had that hunger when I was on the ASP. Didn't have that hunger of what I had when I was a junior, because I'd already had 3 years of success as a junior. So
Bevo, what about surfing today? Where are you at?
I've got a jet ski, and I love 10 to 12 foot. I went to Indo, we surfed 10 to 12 foot, loved it. It was great. I do a lot of trips. Indo's only 4 hours from here. So, yeah, I still enjoy. I surf every day, full-time lifeguard. So I train a lot. So I'm for 50, I'm kind of would imagine I'm pretty mobile fitness-wise. Yeah, and I'm enjoying my surfing a lot. I still ride normal boards. I don't ride any big long boards or anything like that. I still ride high-performance boards, JS surfboards actually, and they make some really nice boards. They keep me feeling young. So, yeah, I'm still riding high-performance boards, and I live on the Sunshine Coast. I don't live down at Snapper anymore. So
we'll wrap this up with one more thing.
Yeah.
The Board Riders Club.
I'm heavily involved. So when I was in Snapper Board Riders, Rabbit used to kind of coach, and all the other senior people. We had Mont Lorraine, a lot of seniors, you know, and they brought us through the club and directed us the right way. And now that I'm older, all I want to do now is with all the younger kids coming through our Board Riders Club, which I'm in a new Board Riders Club because I live 2 hours from the Gold Coast, and it's like North Shore Board Riders. So all I want to do is just help them with a bit of guidance or just a few tips, simple stuff, and guide them the right way. So then that way you're helping them and also just giving a little tiny bit back what was paid back to me when I was a kid myself, you know. So, yeah.
Right on. All right, everyone. This is the QuiverCast with Mike and Bevo, and we're out of here.
Went down to Waimea Bay. What a fantastic sunny day. Boys and girls hanging round. Surfers going up and down. That's when I caught my wave. Knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore. And yes, dreams come true. fantastic sunny day. Boys and girls hanging around, surfers going up and down. When I caught my wave, knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore, and yes, my dream came true.
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.